Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The Drifters were an American rhythm and blues vocal group that had a string of chart-topping successes from the early 1950s to the mid-1960s. They are well known for their songs under the Boardwalk and Save the Last Dance for Me. The Drifters were actually two groups, one centered on lead singer Celeb and the other a completely different group that adopted the name Drifters after manager George Treadwell dismissed the original group. Celeb, Billy Pinkney, Andrew Thresher, Gerhard Thresher, Little David Bogan, and Johnny Moore were the core members of the initial incarnation. Ben E. King, Charlie Thomas, Ellsbury Hobbs, Rudy Lewis, and more were key members of the second incarnation. The Drifters were created in 1953 at the request of Ahmet Ertegun, co-founder of the Atlantic Records, who approached McFeather after he was fired from Billy Ward and the Dominoes. McFeather left the Drifters in 1955 to pursue a solo career after serving in the army, but not before the group had hit number 1 on the Billboard Rhythm and Blues charts with Money Honey 1953 and had several additional singles, including White Christmas 1955. Treadwell replaced the entire group with another ensemble, the Five Crones, led by King, 3 lead singers later in 1959. The Drifters broke into the top 10 of the pop singles chart in 1959 with the 3 Goes by the There Goes My Baby, remembered for its innovative use of strings and Latin rhythms, and took Save the Last Dance for Me to number 1 in 1960. King too left to pursue a solo career, achieving singles with Spanish Harlem 1960 and Stand By Me 1961. The Drifters, on the other hand, continued their streak of singles, aided by the songwriting prowess of couples like Carole King and Gary Goffin and Maud Schumann and Doug Fomus, who wrote in the style of the Brill Building. Lewis sang lead roles in Up on the Roof 1962 and On Broadway 1963, while Moore starred in Under the Boardwalk 1964. The Drifters' gospel-tinged sound was carried into the early 21st century by a changing membership despite the group's popularity waning in the mid-1960s. In 1988, the Drifters received induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Through instability and changes, the original Drifters managed to create musical trends and provide the public 13 chart hits, the majority of which are legendary recordings today, according to the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. Subsequent Drifters lineups matched that accomplishments with 13 Billboard Hot 100 Top 30 chart hits. The group's incarnations into the 1950s and 1960s were also a force on the US R&B charts with 6 number 1 hits: Money Honey 1953, Honey Love 1954, Adorable 1955, 3 Goes My Baby 1959, Save the Last Dance for Me 1960, and Under the Boardwalk 1960. Although they had their biggest successes on the UK singles chart, peaking at number 2 with the number 2 hit Kissing in the Back Row of the Movies, a 1970s revival in Britain. With both old and new material was not matched in the United States, they had their biggest successes on the UK singles chart, peaking with the number 2 hit Kissing on the Back Row of the Movies. Thanks for watching everyone. Please like, share, comment and subscribe.